Receiving end for Team New England, we have Camden Riviere. At the serving end for the New York team, we have James Stout. Best of 3, 6-game sets, New York to serve, level play. Have your game.
All right, and welcome to our YouTube viewers.
15
We're
up.
watching day 3, session 2 of the US Court National League Pro Championship. What an evening we've had so far. This has just been unbelievably excited. So far, in terms of points, it is 5 points to 0 to New England, which couldn't have been predicted at the beginning of the night. Now, I'm your commentator, Mark Beaumont. With me in the commentary booth is John Edwards. So, John, the game's just kicked off. We've got James Stout for New York versus Camden Riviere for New England. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, James is off to a quick 4-love start of the first game. He is on the server side. I am looking forward to seeing the former world rackets champion face off against a former world court tennis champion, both of whom are lefties. We also have in the commentary booth with us Steve Vergona. Steve, say, how are you today?
Doing pretty well, thanks. Good to be here with you guys. Yeah, looking forward to. I think this is going to be a closer battle than a lot of people think. Cam's obviously coming in a slight favourite here, but James has been playing pretty well on this court, and I think between these two, it's going to come down to who dominates the service end. That's a first game to James there. I think Cam's going to head in with some pretty tight railroads here. Second serve, maybe a demi-peak. I can see him throwing in.
So obviously the first thing to observe about the game is that they're both left-handers. What perspectives does that give you on the game?
Yeah, that's where, so they're both going to try and serve pretty tight, stop each other turning onto their forehand, which if they're able to do that, then they've got many options to cover. So it makes covering that return of serve a lot more difficult.
15-0.
Cam's going with a few slow railroads to start.
I tell you what, you wouldn't expect Camden Riviere to lose his first game very often. So James is doing something pretty special here.
It's good get.
Oh, he nearly went down and came back up again.
Got 30-15 server.
Of course, you know these guys pretty well, Steve Vergona. Are there any aspects of their play that we should watch out for tonight as we enjoy the game?
Yeah, James is extremely hard to read when he's hitting forehands from either under the grill or off the tambour. He can pretty much, pick his spots, either hitting main wall dead-ons or straight forces or forces for galleries. So that's something I particularly enjoy seeing him hit those forehands.
We just saw those forehands right there, right into the right-hand corner on this side.
James,
it looked like it landed right in the nick.
Yeah. James has got to be looking for a chase here. Get away from that hazard end.
It's a high bobble in now. Camden does very tight bobbles. Oh! Got the point. All right, so it's one juice. After that, it's game ball if we get back to juice. Advantage, James Stout.
Quite the backhand volley.
Yeah, he's got a good variation with that backhand volley in terms of cut and pace in different directions. So. Chase there.
Got his chase. It's probably not the chase that he wanted, but it'll do.
As a squash player and a rackets player, I'm sure he likes to hit the post.
Yeah, he certainly loves to hit the post on both sides, and the walls aren't as quick here as New York with those boasts, so it's going to give Cam a little bit more time to pick up that shot. James
One
gonna go. Sorry.
I was going to say one of the things you can see on the when you look at the TV stream is the reflection of the lights in the floor, which indicates how glossy the Boston court surface is.
Yes.
Do you find the ball skids across the floor more here than compared to Chicago, where you're the pro?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit slower off the floor here, but whilst you're playing, it isn't as glossy as it appears on the screen.
Okay.
For those watching at home, Camden hit a ball and it stuck right into the net.
Almost made it through, I think.
We're going to have to put a call out to the net members for a new net.
There will be an Adidas ad with that clip in it soon. Or potentially K-Swiss or Salming.
15-0.
All right, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. So you said this, it doesn't skid off the floor as much as it might look like it does on the screen.
It tends to hold a little bit off the floor here. It's a little bit slower than Chicago, but on the screen it looks quite glossy. But while you're on court playing, it isn't. It doesn't affect you that much.
Okay.
He's going to be disappointed with that miss.
15.
Usually puts that ball straight through the grill.
Oh,
Yeah, there it
straight
is.
into the grill. James Stout.
30-14.
So James moves laterally just about as well as anyone the entire game. Cam looks a little bit rattled here.
Well, I think
He's tied it up.
that's what you really appreciate when you watch these guys. In terms of movement, these are two of the best players in the world. Maybe stating the obvious there, I
Chase
suppose.
better
But
than 3 yards.
as I'm sitting here in the Hamlin room watching them, their court coverage is so quick. And I don't know if that comes across on the stream.
Out of court. Advantage. 1 chase.
The marker today is John Lumley from the Philadelphia Club. John, obviously a court tennis royalty. Both his parents played the game. He's been playing it from a very young age too. And his sister, of course, Tara Lumley, plays it as well. Loses the chase.
40-0 game point.
Again, boys, this is a huge point in the match right here. Either Cam gets 1-2 or James really steps it up and goes 3-love. So this is huge.
Tight was that backhand from James Stout.
Good return.
To receive as 3 games to love. First set.
Stout off to a 3-game lead.
Oh, that's a great shot. 2 inches off the bottom of the tambour.
Chase better than 3 yards. 15 love. Server leads 1 chase.
Well, I tell you what, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't have bet on James Stout being 3 games to love ahead. At this point in the game. So it'll be interesting to see how Camden responds to this.
Yeah, it's great length, great cut.
30 love.
Maybe James's somewhat unorthodox style is catching Cam off guard a little bit. Yeah, he's not reading that at all. It's a great hold by James.
15-30.
Well, yes, it's not that often that Camden plays a lefty. I know he's played you a lot over many years.
Yeah.
So you would know your game very well. Even know James's game pretty well as well, but
Yeah, I think what's something James brings to the game that is quite different is how he holds the ball really drawing on his squash background, where it doesn't look like Cam is reading his shots early as he is some other players, even though Cam's extremely quick. So he's just slightly, one step behind what he usually is. But there's a long way to go. So.
Well, you don't get to be number one in the world by not being able to come back from a few games down.
Exactly.
40-30 to the receiver.
Flows out on the stream that might not have been following. Camden's wearing contact lenses for the first time this week. So he got contact lenses about 3 weeks ago, he said. They weren't the right contacts, he was getting a headache. So he got some new contacts about a week ago. I was talking to him yesterday, he said he's seeing the ball better than he has done in years. So we'll see how those contacts work for him. But another great get. Oh! And into grill.
Wow.
This is unbelievable.
Stout refusing to give up in that point.
Past.
Out of court, thank you.
Advantage
Ball's
Stout.
out of court.
Again, another big point here.
Game point, Jens. 40-all.
Yeah, it's great length.
Game.
Great shot by Cam there.
Camden getting on
Right,
the
so
board.
Camden picks the game back. All right, so I can see we've picked up a few viewers on the stream. Just for those people that have dialed in recently, I'm Mark Beaumont in the commentary box with John Edwards and Steve Vergona. You are watching number one team players from New England and New York. The US Court Tennis Pro National League from the Boston Racket Club here on Boston Street in downtown Boston. It was a beautiful day here today. It's about 75 degrees in the middle of the day. So, what's 75 degrees in Celsius? I've lost it since I left Australia.
I think I have as well, to be honest. It's been so long.
It's about
Isn't that
20,
about
25 or something.
23,
Yeah.
23, 24?
23, 24.
Something like that.
For any Brits or Australians watching.
Whatever it is, it's a great temperature.
Anyway, it was warm, and it's still quite warm out on the court there.
That's perfect.
Oh, that was a great.
Excellent shot by Stout.
30-15.
It's not going to be long till Cam starts just hitting those galleries rather than playing that post. Cam just covers that forehand corner too well. Yeah, it's too easy.
Oh, he missed the girl.
There it is.
James, the last gallery.
Exactly right.
30-15 serve leads.
It's too good. Great shot there by Cam.
30-all, one chase.
So got chase last gallery, 30 all. Again, another big point in out of this first set. So really influence how well James can attack the return of serve.
Oh!
40-31 chase.
Uncharacteristic unforced error off the serve there. It was quite a short serve, that one.
Yeah, that was a much better length on that left-hand side road.
Steve, I had a teammate in college who said, "You have to win the points, you have to win." Now he was from Hong Kong, and that's very Confucian, but that seemed like one of those points.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
have to win.
Yeah, so it's a big difference with James being 40-30 up or 40-30 down in his position. If it's a serve that he could perhaps volley, he might try and carve it into the corner, whereas if the serve's somewhat tight, he thinks he might make a racket error, he's probably going to let it go and chip into the corner, so it really influences it.
That's grilled.
There by Cam again. Great defense.
No chase.
Oh, what a shot. No more dead ends.
Advantage,
Off the
receiver.
backhand.
That first yard of the dead on there, it's unreturnable, even for Cam. He's going to be disappointed with that one. It's very
Ball up, Stout,
uncharacteristic
thank you.
miss by
40,
James there.
game point, 40.
Maybe he had a little too much time to think about where he was thinking.
I think you're right there.
Thank you. Second serve.
Second serve, maybe a bowl coming in or a demi peak. Oh, it's harsh.
Chase the line.
Chase the line.
40.
Missed the dead on by an inch.
So you obviously, while we've got just a time for a chat, you picked up the game in Melbourne, Australia, obviously, Steve.
Yeah, picked up the game in Melbourne from my old tennis coach, Doug Grant, who formerly played court tennis, and he was my childhood coach growing up.
And you came from a lawn tennis background? Oh,
It's a heck of a shot there from James. Wow, he's going to
James
roll.
is on fire.
To take that game.
To serve as 4 games to 1.
Yeah. James was really fired up for this match.
He was playing with determination in that doubles game.
Hazard better
He
than
certainly
the door.
Left it all out on the court.
Oh, Nick again.
Nice nick.
Yeah, it's a-
James has nicked so
15
many
up.
balls.
Looks like he's seeing that pretty well, right off the middle of the racket face, but just a little bit too low. He's having good success with this sideboard railroad. Cam's looking a little frustrated.
He's looking frustrated.
God, it's a great
Oh,
game.
Can't pick
but
that up.
A
Wow.
frustrated Cam. He's a dangerous animal.
Oh,
That was on
James
for grill.
really-
that was on
wow.
for dead-ons. And that was in dead-ons. Well done, Camden Riviere.
30-15.
I mean, we are seeing some excellent play.
Both.
I mean, considering the amount of time off that everyone was forced to have, these guys are playing at a phenomenal level.
That's Hazard better than the door. Chase worse than 6 yards, 2 chases.
Good drive there by
30.
Cam. 2 chases, 30 all.
That was pretty spot on, wasn't it? So you transitioned from lawn tennis, was the
Transition,
situation?
yeah, from lawn tennis to real tennis, and my first head pro that I worked under, Mike Edwards, thought I had some talent, and so I managed to progress, through the ranks and get my handicap lower fairly quickly. So
My first day in the Melbourne club, I bumped into Julian Snow,
oh, you did.
and he said to me, "Unless your handicap is in single digits,
30
in 2
all.
years,
First
you'll never
chase
be
is
any good at this
Hazard.
game."
Better than the
That was
door.
6 years
so
ago.
Hazard.
My handicap is still running single digits.
Yeah, I think that's somewhat harsh. Might also be dependent on how much you get to play.
First serve, 30 all. Hazard better than the door. Hazard.
Great get.
Man, these guys are on fire. Oh,
Good shot.
Hazard's a-
How's it better than
Boy
draw one Hazard?
30, server chases worse than 6.
Yeah, it's good serve.
It's game to server, 2 games to 4.
All right, Cam's back in it. So this is, again, probably the biggest game of the set right here. It's a cheapie to start with. Cam's going to be thrilled with that. 15 love. Great serve.
Like Winston says, come on, Jimbo.
30 love.
We know whose side you're on, Winston.
James is going to try and break up the play here. It's 2 cheap unforced errors.
Oh, right onto the
Down.
Volley
40
boast.
love.
Volley boast. Thin boast down the rail. Pretty much unreturnable. Great shot there by Cam.
Game to server, 3 games
This
to
is where
4.
Cam.
3 games to 4.
This is where Cam's really strong. You know, he was down 4-1, 2-4, and then just got a quick game, get back to 3-4 from this end. James has got to get back over here.
15 love.
He was right on for the date on there.
Yeah, no. Top shot.
He's on the forehand. Leaves it for a hazard.
Yeah, I think it's a good leave there by James.
Retake that service side.
1 chase.
As much as I'm sure he wanted to crush it.
James has put a few up on the roof.
Yeah, he's just hitting that forehand with a slightly open racket face. He was rolling his wrist a little bit more earlier on. So they're just kind of scarring him a little bit. So he's either got to bring back that side spin or start rolling it again. There it is. It's a ball shot.
In a way,
Hold again.
with all of that power, he may be channeling Jason Statham.
He looks like Jason
Highly
Statham,
likely,
doesn't he?
yeah.
30 all, 1 chase, 30 all.
This is effectively game ball here. If Cam can win this point, he's really good at winning those hazard chases.
Left it for a hazard as well.
2 hazards.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have left that one. I might have had a go hitting a side gallery on that ball. But James felt more comfortable letting it go.
He just lost the momentum for a minute there, so maybe this now gives him a little break to compose himself, change ends, get the service end, change the momentum in the game.
We have seen a lot of singles matches where one of the players really took off and another took a little bit to kind of to catch up. We saw that with Tony and Josh on day 1. We saw that I believe earlier. Sometimes there could just be a little bit of a mismatch to start out initially. Maybe they're both not on the same plane in terms of energy.
Yeah,
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, it is a very streaky game, and generally speaking, whoever can dictate the pace and the style of the points tends to be that guy that makes that run. So that's where it's really up to the other guy to figure out how he can, focus on stopping that momentum and just somehow getting on top.
Hazard, 1 yard.
Doing those trades.
Oh,
40-30,
That's
see believe,
exactly
we
the
got
point he was
hazard worse
after.
than
that's
2.
exactly
Hazard.
right. All right, hazard chase, worse than 2, hazard.
We're
on the roof.
Yeah.
Oh, and missed it.
Juice.
We're at juice.
Just pressing a little bit for those galleries on that last ball.
temptation to crush it. Crush that. Oh, Barney touched it.
Advantage to the receiver.
It kind of looks like James is reading Cam pretty well before he hits the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good bead on where he's going to be hitting it.
Oh, straight into dead ends. Well done, Cameron Riviere.
Game to receiver.
Just like that,
4-all. All right, now while we're on a change of game, one of the best things about this sport is the club and the members that are within the club. One of our members, who's one of our most improved players over the last 12 months, is Lee Smith, who's a guy that I play and I used to beat, and somehow I don't beat him anymore because he's incredibly athletic. Well, he just texted me and said he would like to wish his friend Pat Quinn a happy birthday. So Pat Quinn, happy birthday to you from the commentary box.
Happy birthday, Pat.
All the best, Pat. Happy birthday, mate. Oh, it's an amazing get by the Cam there.
Wow.
And Lee Smith, I'm coming for you next time we play. I don't think I've beaten you in about...
James looking at the marker there for a second.
I think he was looking for a nut up there.
Oh!
And he found the nick.
Backward, sidewall nick. Great ball. Great shot.
Right into the grill.
So Ken Forden says, Steve, when do you decide to put it in the gallery instead of going for the floor chase?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's highly dependent on how well your opponent is covering those corners, so how available those floor chases are to you. So you're either going to be trying to hit the ball firmly, hit the back wall to create, a chase somewhere between 5 and last gallery. Alternatively, just go straight in the side galleries. But it doesn't look like there are as many floor chases out here for these boys. So.
Mm-hmm.
Great shot.
That was a great shot.
James really trying to put the foot down here.
I gotta say, who would have thought this was going to be so tight?
15-all.
See, we've picked up quite a few viewers now. You guys are in for a treat as we try and figure out who's going to win this. Just a reminder for the viewers that we're playing the best of 2 sets. Each set obviously is 6 games, but if it goes to the 3rd set, then we start the 3rd set at 3-all. Each game is 1 juice, and after that, if we return to juice, it's game ball. You're watching James Stout at the near end, currently serving, representing New York against Camden Riviere, representing New England, and the marker is John Lumley from Philadelphia. In the commentary box, the commentator Mark Beaumont, with John Edwards,
40-15, we got 1 chase.
who they call the Senator John Edwards. I had to Google that, by the way. I didn't realise there was a Senator John Edwards. I didn't get the nickname.
There was indeed a Senator John Edwards, a senator out of North Carolina. He was also a vice presidential candidate in 2004 and a presidential candidate in 2008.
Okay.
And had a fall from grace in 2009. I acquired that nickname here at this club in the bar in Court 4, a guy named John Crawford. John, how are you? I met him on one of my first days here as a summer member, and he said, "Oh, your name's John Edwards. Do they call you the senator?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, they do now."
And our guest pro in the commentary box is Steve Vergona, the wonderful Steve Vergona from
So Camden has tied it up.
Yeah, so we're at 5-all here, so there's no 40-all in this game. We're going to play it out to the full extent. So, press
15 love.
15 love. Good hands.
Is it a rocket?
So danger right here for James. He needs his point. That's too good.
40 love.
40 love, Camden Riviere, set point. Oh, and he's got it. And Camden Riviere shakes his fist.
6 games to 5. Serving by 1
6
set.
games to 5. There was a long period there where we thought he wasn't getting it. As we play court tennis, we go straight into the second set. Sometimes it takes a bit of getting used to that. That was such a big point.
15 love.
Really good, strong fight back by Cam there. Yeah, found himself in a bit of a hole, 3 love and 4-1, and really upped his game.
Oh, that was a great shot.
Yeah, it was good length.
15 all.
Right under winning gallery in the neck.
So while we're here, I just want to say a massive thanks to everyone here at the TNR for having us this week, all the members, giving up court time for allowing us to play and practice for an entire week, and also the Preservation Foundation for all their support, along with the USCTA. You know, with all their support, you know, this sort of event doesn't happen, so thank you very much.
Well, thank you for saying that, Steve. And it's obviously a privilege to have you guys all here. But it doesn't come without some work as well. So the recognition for the members and we should mention the sponsors actually. So East Ham Capital are a sponsor. The US CTA is a sponsor. And John, do you want to say about the US Court Tennis Preservation Foundation?
The Court Tennis Preservation Foundation, aka the USCTPF, is also a sponsor of this event, and a couple of the board members, myself included, Temple Grassi, are here watching the event, and we're very happy to have the game, to have the professional game back in action after a long hiatus during the pandemic, and we're happy that everybody can participate via the live stream, and that we can begin a return to normalcy.
Well, let's bring it on. Let's bring on the new season of court tennis.
And I've actually heard that James is a candidate for the Expendables 4. He's going to be in. They've cast him alongside Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jet Li, and Dolph Lundgren.
I tell you, he's looking so focused out there. He would fit right in. All right, Riviere says, incredible retrieving from both ends makes this very exciting. Hey, Rhett, we're right with you in the commentary box on that one. We are on the edge of our seats right here. Not the big comfortable armchair that Ken Fortin sits in when he's commentating. Just bar stools.
Great get there by Cam.
Oh!
James will also be in the upcoming film Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Chases.
That would be a good question, wouldn't it? Films that James Stout would fit into. Oh, this is it.
15-30.
The upcoming Guy Ritchie golf film Scratch.
Anything Guy Ritchie he would fit into.
Second serve.
Yeah, fault there, second serve. Coming in. That's It's too good.
Oh, he ripped that. The Camden Riviere backhand into the corner. Better than 2 chase.
Vote. That's you.
A little bit long from Cam there.
Great ball.
Into winning gallery. Now, we haven't seen too many winning galleries today. That's an interesting thing. Do you think the winning gallery is quite a high-risk shot to play for these guys?
It is, yeah, and the grill's a little bit larger than some other courts here, so it's a slightly easier target to hit.
Because at the club level, we tend to focus only on the winning gallery.
Got it.
We don't really consider the score or the side all that. But frankly, you want to be on the server's side in order to be able to attack the winning gallery.
Attack the winning gallery. Love it. It's Cam there. You want to pick up what Cam's talking about there?
Yeah, he was just having a little chat to John Lumley, the scorer. I think it was a good-natured chat. I don't think he was complaining.
Second serve.
Steve, as a pro, is there ever any marker doubt? Is that we had one person say in the chat that the marker is infallible and beyond reproach.
Yeah, everyone. You might have a disagreement at that one moment. You may think that they perhaps got the call wrong, but everyone's really good about just brushing off and just getting on with it. So, and everyone respects that. Particularly if it's a ball that maybe was not up. It's a difficult position to try and call it from here in the dead on. So everyone's pretty understanding at the end of the day.
Oh,
Wow, this is some great court tennis.
Camden's just played that backhand with neither of his feet on the floor, and it goes into winning gallery off the forehand from Camden Riviere.
There it is, right on cue for you, mate. Straight in.
Sorry?
There it is, right on cue for
Right.
you. Yeah, straight in the winning gallery. Where's your tamper there?
So, Steve, when you're marking a members match,
Yeah.
is there ever a well that's a good member, that's someone I'll give him that chase.
No, it's never like that, mate. We try to just get the call right and may the best man win, or woman for that matter.
Oh, that was on
he
for
still got
dead-ons.
out of the dead on.
Somehow Camden fished it out. No, he's put that high. He'll be disappointed. It's an easy shot for Camden.
15 up.
Just while we're giving shout-outs as well, we must give a shout-out to Ryan Carey doing the video work today. The quality of the presentation that we're now able to present with court tennis is just phenomenal. So Ryan, thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. Has the 1 yard. 15 up, serve it eats.
I will say, if I had run around the court as much as Camden, my head would be covered in sweat. He doesn't appear to have one bead on his head.
No, he doesn't, does he?
Well, I think the marker, John Lumley, is the normal candidate for that. He seems to always walk off court as fresh as he walks on.
That's a great shot there by James.
Backhand straight into the dead-ons.
Cam's looking way more dead on there.
On that note about John Lumley, we would like to say thank you to our sponsor, Crew Hair Gel. Crew Hair Gel. If you want to come off the court, tennis court, looking stylish as you went on, it's Crew Hair Gel.
So we've got the Racket Club of Philadelphia Pro Shop saying, Steve didn't talk to me for a week on a missed down call against Sayers. Is that Rob Whitehouse?
It might be Rob Whitehouse. It was a World Championship eliminator match in 4.5 hours. And what was it, Robbie? 5-all in the fifth set? was a week, maybe a week and a half, yeah.
Rob, great to hear from you. You'll know that after all the commentary I've been doing, I'll be getting 8 a.m.s the day after the black tie for the rest of my life. The Senators' draw time. Rob and I laughed about that the last event I played at the Rack Club. I said, Rob, how much do I have to spend in the pro shop never to have this time again? He said, keep pulling things off the shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep pulling things off the shelf.
Yeah, keep buying.
We got some racket spats in, actually.
See there by James.
The Nick. Oh, and Cam almost fished that out.
I know my Rob Whitehouse story is that I played in the Jimmy Dunn, and I must have sprayed about 50 balls when I was going for a force up onto the penthouse. And Rob gave me some great advice. He said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Rob, that was great advice. I've never forgotten it.
Sounds like pretty sound advice, not only in tennis, but just in life.
That's right.
Advantage to server.
Might have broken the string there.
Yeah.
Server's advantage.
Oh, what a shot from Camden.
Stroke. 40-all, game point, 40-all.
All right, so we're 1-all. First set went to Camden Riviere.
JCR worse than the last gallery, 40-all.
Who's your money on for this set? Cam's going to close it out. You think James is going to be able to take this one?
It's a tough call, isn't it?
40-all, game point, 40-all.
I think one of the reasons it's difficult to bet against Camden is that there just doesn't seem to be a ball that he doesn't feel is unplayable. Oh, look at that. Right into the grill. There's been a couple of times when he's played shots with no feet on the ground and managed to not just return the ball over the net, but also play an attacking shot. And so I feel that it's difficult to bet against him somehow, although James is having a great game. What about you? What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, James has to play almost perfectly and with such precision to win this set, whereas Cam can play, I feel, slightly more within himself and take the set. So yeah, I think it's going to come down to whether James can produce that kind of level, because Cam's going to play at his level, regardless. So, which is obviously extremely high. Great shot there by James.
A lot of pace on that ball.
40-15.
You saw in that first set, James was playing exceptionally well, but he just started missing a little bit on the penthouse, and then Cam started playing a lot more authority.
Oh, no, we do have a listener from the UK, even though it's pretty late there. My brother is online. Luke Beaumont, Lydia Beaumont, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you on board.
Luke and Lydia, welcome.
They had my niece a little while back, Elizabeth Beaumont. So I don't know if it's Elizabeth.
What a pickup.
I don't know if it's Elizabeth keeping them awake this late. But it's great to have you on board, guys.
Great rally there.
That was an excellent
Fantastic,
rally.
wasn't it?
Back to deuce.
Another critical point.
Yeah, I think James needs this game to try and take this set. Cam goes 3-1. Could be difficult. Great shot.
And he took it.
I feel like I should give you 2 points for that one.
It was an amazing backhand volley return right
Advantage
there.
to the receiver.
Oh, Matthew Anderson's texted in from the UK as well, so we do have some night owls in the UK who love their court tennis. James.
What a pickup.
That's off the timber. Coming Riviere backhand into the grill.
Into the grill.
40-all game point. 40-all.
I mean, James looks very relaxed and comfortable from all those balls underneath the grill.
Yeah,
Votes.
I agree.
Well, it's not often you see much emotion from James Stout, actually.
Jay's better than the door.
Generally known for the stoic
40-all.
performances and the high kicks into the heads of the bad guys. In a
The
lot
bad
of the
guys
films.
in the Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels movies. So Matthew Anderson is from Radley.
Radley.
We call it real tennis in the UK. I mean, that's one of the interesting things about the sport, isn't it? It's real tennis in the UK, it's court tennis in America, and it's royal tennis in Australia.
Better than the door.
Allegedly, it all begins with royal tennis, and the way it was pronounced in France in the 1750s to 1780s sounded a lot like royal, real, and
To the receiver, 3 games to 1. Second
the
set.
RE being like the king or the re in Italian. I'm making half of this up,
Sounds plausible.
but
If it's good for the commentary, just make something up.
linguistically some of it stands up. But I do believe there's a link between real and royal
Okay.
in French or older English.
I think sometimes calling it court tennis, it can become a bit of a mouthful. If you say I'm going up to the court tennis court, it sounds a bit weird. So I prefer calling it real tennis, but I guess that's how I learned the game. So maybe that's why I have a bias towards that. Oh, right into the grill.
Commanding
James
grill.
Stout.
It's commanding grill.
Great put away there. Here we go. 30-15. Nick.
My brother's just jumped on the chat. Thanks for the shout out, Mark.
40-15, 1 chase.
Thanks for listening, Luke. It's great to have you online. I love you and Lydia very much.
So I thought it rolled.
Even though it's 100 feet away, I think it was a great call by John Lumley.
Gallery has it. Sorry, genuinely thought it rolled. Has a second, has it.
Alistair Clark says great coverage as usual, presumably Mr. Ryan Carey. Is there anybody else other than Mr. Ryan Carey?
40.
He's the best.
I think Mr. is underplaying his title. We should give him a different title. Sir Ryan Carey. Ben Corsten says this is much better than uni work. Of course it is, Ben. Oh, what a shot!
By Cam. Shout out to Ben. Hope you're doing well over there, mate. Looking forward to seeing you back in Chicago for a rackets tournament.
Ben, everything is better than uni work.
Has a second gallery, scores juice.
James was directing those forehands off the tambo more into the corners of the dead on. Earlier on the match, it's just too straight. It's right in Cam's wheelhouse.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Chasing that
That
down.
that ball, for the people on the YouTube probably couldn't see it. It bounced off the ledge of the dead-ons, the roof of the dead-ons, back down on the ledge and then out. Camden, but it didn't touch the net. Camden picked it out and played a winning shot off it.
Yeah, I think Camden might
Advantage to the
have
receiver.
thought it went in.
You got
Lost
Hazard
track of it
secondary.
briefly, but
Hazard.
regained the side of it, tracked it down.
Oh, what a shot. Camden thought it was going past the tambour, ran in to cover the back corner, but it just clipped the tambour by a millimetre on its way through.
No, you're right. 40-all game point. 40-all.
Right, massive point in the set here. Kind of feel like James needs this game.
And he gets
And he
it.
gets it.
Game
It's big,
team,
a little bit sharp off that memorable burst off Cam there. Right, 2-3, game on.
What do you think's going through James's head at this point in time, Steve?
Yeah, James is such a good match player, competitive player in whatever sport he's participating in, and you just feel like he's taking it one point at a time. He feels like he's going to be able to reel Cam in.
Chase worse than the second gallery.
I would imagine he brings the same level of competitiveness to just about anything. Could be
No question.
golf, court tennis, hungry hippos. I mean, if it's, Cards Against Humanity.
Second gallery, 2 chases. All out, gents, and balls, please. Thank you.
I'm sure he's competitive, no matter what the game.
No matter what the endeavour, absolutely.
Monopoly, Chutes and Ladders.
Poker.
Well, we've just got a second while the guys change the basket of balls over. I think that's the first basket we've been through this game. So with 3-2, Camden Riviere, just a reminder, this is a best of 3 sets game. Camden Riviere is already 1 set up. You're watching Camden Riviere representing New England play James Stout representing New York. So far this night we've been on the edge of our seats with the games. We had Tony Hollins beat.
First chase is worse than the second gallery.
Who did Tony beat?
Tony beat Adrian Kemp.
Adrian Kemp, of course. In quite a tight game, although Tony won it comfortably in the end. We then had New England beat New York. Now we're watching
15-all. We got
Camden Riviere
Hazard second gallery.
representing New England versus James Stout representing New York.
The doubles was 8-4, an 8-game pro set. Camden Riviere and Mike Gooding over Barney Tanfield and James Stout.
That's a good shot there by Cam. Good control.
Oh, what a dead-on shot. Main wall dead-ons.
Top corner, unreturnable.
Juice.
Back to deuce.
Advantage to the receiver.
We've got a game point for James here to get back to 3-all.
of those critical points, as you were saying.
Yeah. That's too good.
40-all game point. 40-all.
See what serve Cam's going to go with here at 40-all.
What a get.
Oh, great shot. Great man, well done.
Wow.
Games to receiver. 3 games all. Second set.
Cam thought that might have been down on James, but it looked like a good get from here.
Guys, I'm just going to introduce one of the great characters of the game. So a guy that I played with down in Philadelphia, and a guy who I consider a great friend is Temple Grassi. We've got Temple Grassi watching every game that's happened today. So Temple, welcome first of all to the Boston Tennis and Racket Club.
Yeah, Temple here. I'm thrilled to be here. Came up from Washington yesterday. Sorry I was late. It's what a wonderful performance the players are putting on, and the Boston people have just been great. Quickly, a lot of people have been asking me about the status of the Washington project. We are full steam ahead. Hopefully, with a July of this summer groundbreaking. We're just not quite sure how long it will take to get done. But we are, as I said, full steam ahead, and I always appreciate people asking about it. So we look forward to having all of you back. Well, you can still come to Prince's Court, but the new court will be spectacular. So thank you very much.
Great, Temple. Great to hear from you. And you are a wonderful ambassador for the game. Thank you for everything that you do.
No strokes, 1 chase.
Going home with that one.
So you got a pretty quick game by Cam there, jump out to 4-3.
Both.
I've just got a text from Temple's daughter that says, "Dad, when will you be home for dinner?" Helen, Dad says when he's good and ready. Oh, great shot into the
Dead
dead
on.
on. James Stout.
Stout.
T15. Both.
Oh, right into the dead ends. Unbelievable.
30-all, 1 chase. 30-all.
Getting top corner there by James, just much better direction, keeping that ball out of the centre of the court. Cam's got such good hands, if it's anywhere near him, he's just not going to miss.
Both.
Steve, can you give us some insight into Cam's serving strategy here? What was he trying to do there?
It seems like he's just trying to keep James off balance on that return, get him to stop turning on that forehand, and just trying to entice him to hit that return serve on his backhand volley. I think Cam kind of feels like he'll have limited options if he can achieve that.
40-30 to the server. Chase is the last
As the
gallery.
game has progressed, Steve, have you noticed any change in the style of these players, or are they just sticking to their game plan, do you think?
You mean in terms of this match?
In terms of this game, yeah, and then there's the match.
Fault!
Yeah, I can see that James is trying to bring in a little bit more deception to the game as he's going. He's really mixing up the pace of his shots well. Cam's persisting with that inside-out backhand towards James' forehand. It's a great shot, stopping James having access to those house galleries. That's too good.
Advantage to the receiver. Strike. Game to receivers, 5 games to 3, second set.
One game away from closing it out.
Well, you wouldn't bet against Cameron Riviere right now, would you? Oh.
Chase, nearly a yard worse than last gallery. No strokes, 1 chase.
My brother says plaudits to whoever is editing the camera stream. The US Open couldn't do much better. Luke, that is Mr. Ryan Carey, who is an absolute legend. He's sitting in front of us now. He's editing, he's mixing, he's managing the USCTA Twitter stream. We're all in awe.
50 love.
He's telling us when the microphone is too close to our mouths.
He tells us off when we do something wrong.
A great volley there by James. This match is not over yet.
giving us replacement batteries for our headsets.
Does he have just 2 arms, Ryan Carey, or do you think he has 3?
I actually saw him changing a tire earlier.
That's right. Painting the dead-ons wall
Chase, worse than
whilst
5
editing
yards.
the video stream.
2 chases, Jans, 30 love.
All right.
30 love.
So this is do or die for James now, really. It's 30 love. Camden has the serve.
Gallery.
2 longish chases. Could win this game with these 2 points.
40 love,
Excellent
takes
cut.
worse than 5 yards.
James on that ball. Right into the grill.
Just too straight there from James. He's got to get it to the
50,
sidewall.
40.
Good choice.
Game to receivers, 4 games to 5.
So he stays in it. Do you think it's important for him to get to the server side in this game?
Yeah, he's going to get back over here, and something tells me we're going to see 5-all again.
Look at that dig. Oh! Wow.
15 love.
Just hit the top
James
of the net.
Stout is 3 points away from 5-all. Can he do it?
Fault.
It's a good serve there by Cam.
No.
I mean, James is covering the entire court,
Yeah,
left to right.
he just moves so well. He's got such good reach. He's been probably Probably not quite as fast as Cam, but can cover that ground so well.
He gets practically horizontal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the reach really makes up for it. Big point here.
That's 2 returns of serve that James Stout's been on the roof. Gives Cam easy control of the point.
Great shot.
Oh, but
Wow.
James gets it.
30 all.
30 all. Match point, Camden Riviere.
Stout ties it up.
The deuce. Here we go.
In case you're not excited enough, it's juice.
Love it.
You can change up on the serve there by Cam.
What a ball.
Advantage to the server.
Cam's looking for his best serve here. Close. Almost perfect.
Oh, and there it is. Game, set, and match. Camden Riviere after what was an
6-5.
absolute nail biter.
6-4.
6-5, 6-4. Camden Riviere. What an excellent game of real tennis that was. Steve, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box. I think your insights there were just invaluable. Any reflections on that game just when we finish?
You know, it's just extremely high quality match. Both guys are playing very well, and it's great to see 2 lefties doing battle and just having court tennis back in action, really. So, yeah, it's great to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Steve. And John, the senator. Thanks for joining me in the commentary box. It's been a pleasure to have you in here. Thanks for your insights.
You're welcome, Mark.
To all you out on the YouTube stream. Join us back we've got a full weekend of live court tennis for you. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, we've got New England versus the Racket Club of Philadelphia. At 2 p.m., we've got Tuxedo versus New York. And then on Sunday at 10 a.m., we've got Philadelphia versus Chicago. And at 2 p.m., we've got New England versus Tuxedo. It is going to be a thrilling weekend. It is anybody's league. The final winner is not going to be decided until right at the end of this competition. Join us for more exciting court tennis tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night.